So it's the weekend. You have nothing to do. You probably want to take a look at the charts. So that's exactly what we're going to do. While others rest, we're just going to grind and sort of have a game plan for next week, okay? Hi, guys. If you're new to my channel, this is JR from the Market Surveillance Alliance. And today, well, sort of like tonight for me, probably afternoon for you, I just want to go over Bitcoin, which is the only thing that it seems to be open that matters, because it can help us to kind of spot a few trade ideas for the week ahead. On one of my previous videos, I talked about Marathon Digital Holdings. I already have one 0 to hero. I mean, hopefully we make it to hero, but always make sure you manage your risks. So let's jump right away. I'm going to take a look at what's happening. Working on Asana, Dustin Moskovitz, big money, $350 million in that one. Good for him. He's just making sure as an insider that he's going to keep that company rolling. I have a few ideas, bunch of lines here, but I actually have this one with Coinbase. And I talked about it on my previous video when it was about the dollar, Bitcoin, and other stories. The idea today is, where are we? That's where you always want to ask yourself, what is this thing doing? And where it is. It's basic sort of allocation when it comes to technical analysis. But after that, it allows you to project what may happen in the next 2 weeks or 30 days, especially for those of you that trade options. If you trade options, you definitely want to watch this video. So let's take a look. Using my trend line, it comes all the way from April of 2017. From the lows, we have the breakout. Right there, you have the breakout. Breakdown, then the breakup, once again, another breakdown. So it has been very spot on to kind of pinpoint these levels. Now, if you're actually looking for your confirmation, the full monthly candle breakout gives you that entry, and you never see that one again. Now, the question is, and why so many naysayers, and I mean, I don't like Bitcoin as it is. I like blockchain as technology and everything that it can do for humanity, but the speculative asset, if you catch it at $1, that was great. So, and then if you bought it at 1,000, if you bought it during COVID, it was great. Now, some people want to have that dream. It sort of like comes to be like owning a house. A lot of people want to have one Bitcoin. That's fine. But let me show you how you can play the game with less risk and potentially even greater rewards. Now, where are we? That's a great question. Take a look at this right there. You see that? So this week so far, 7.64%. This month, 7.64%. It's 21.57. Now take a look at the weekly. You see how it's actually, it looks that it's closing above, and that's very important for Bitcoin. But also it's for you if you trade stocks. And if you trade options, you want to keep watching the video because I have one for you that you will love. All right, so now take a look at the daily. Ooh, right there. Do you see that? Right there. Pay attention because this is where things are going to get really exciting this week. Really exciting because you can bet that a lot of people are going to still pouring and clicking on that buy button for puts. I bet you that they are doing that right now. Everyone is just jumping in to buy more. Not insurance. They're speculating that the market's gonna crash, that the US economy is just gonna kneel on their knees. I think it's not gonna happen, or it's not gonna be that easy. So if you look at this, potentially we'll look close into all the way to close this liquidity. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a full version liquidity to the left, so that will set the stage for everyone that actually shorter Bitcoin here. They will need to close, so you may have a Bitcoin short squeeze as well, and that will lead us to go and close the liquidity at 24,000. So I'm going to go all the way to close this entire liquidity, 24,000, potentially 25. That will be great, and from there it can get even more exciting, and we may revisit the 30,000. Now, my invalidation, because also we need to talk about the downside and the potential risk that it doesn't work, that something really bad happens in the market the next 2 weeks. then I will invalidate if one more time we trade under this blue line, which is 19,860 points for Bitcoin, which is, by the way, the liquidity that comes from what used to be resistance in December of 2020. And by the way, comes all the way back to that previous liquidity set at the high of December 17 of 2027. So that's what you have on the table. Pay attention because it matters. It actually does, big time. So we have this full setup where we are, what is the asset doing, and now I'm not going to go and say, hey, buy Bitcoin. I will say this. Let's go to Quote Media. And on my previous video, I introduced you to MARA, M-A-R-A, Marathon Digital Holdings. Today, let's talk about RIOT blockchain. And what I'd like to do is for you to subscribe to this channel if you want to keep receiving these videos, exactly what I do. Yeah, I'm calling the market, but I'm not calling a bottom or I'm not calling a top. I'm calling for you to understand how you can see one asset, the underlying asset, and then look for the sympathy play and squeeze your money. When I say squeeze your money, so I really squeeze it like, let's go the extra mile. Let every dollar do the job, okay? And that's what you get when you trade options. That's what I use options. And so far, I haven't seen a case when I buy a call or buy a put that the house, you know, the broker, will call me back and say, hey, Joe, you owe money. It will never happen. On the contrary, if you trade futures contract and it goes bad, they will knock your door. They will go for you, especially in the United States. I mean, less chances that it will happen in the last couple of years, but they have the right to do that. So legally, I prefer options, and it's a good product for those of you that use it correctly. Now, let's go to option chain, and what I think may happen here is what is going to surprise you. I think we're going to have some sort of like a short squeeze, or kind of buying squeeze as well can happen. And what I think we will see is at some point in October, this will actually turn to be very good for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin up, US stock market up. So I will probably go into something that no one expects. And this is at 16. I don't think it's going to happen that fast. So let's take this out. And let's focus on October. So as you can see, the 13 selling for 23, the last trade. Not a lot of volume, but that's because no one sees it yet. A lot of the expectation is bearish. So everyone is buying puts. Institutions, based on Sentiment Trader, they have 3 times more bearish protection. So expecting they've been buying insurance big time, not only on the market, but on several equities across the board, more than in 2008. That's ridiculous, crazy. So this is where I see that the max pain is going to be to the upside, just based on what institutions are doing. They might be right, but time will tell. But definitely we have to confirm. We have confirmation. There's strong evidence that there is a major shift, not major shift yet, but a major conviction to the downside. Now, if I look at 13, this is where it gets interesting. I'm paying $23 for this one. I'm going to open in Quote Media all the options, and the max I can get is 18 cents. Do I think this can happen? I'm probably going to, and here's the funny thing. Look at the 17 and 18. It's going for 8 cents. And this one 16, it's for 10 cents. I'm just going to take my chances with the 10 cents. 16 cents, you don't have to be all extreme because you want somehow to have a potential to happen. So I'm looking for a double. And the reason why I think it can double is because, as I mentioned in my previous video, I have seen Marathon Digital Holdings, 30% in a day. So I'm calling that we are trading right now. If you look at what RIOT is actually closed yesterday, it did at 826, that's 10% in a day. In a day. And we have almost what? If we go to October 21st, that's almost a little bit more than a month, 30 days. So they can potentially squeeze 15, 20% in a day. Let me check this in FinBees. What is the size? What's the size of the short flow? Short flow is 21%. And if you check out, let's take a look at Fintel. Fintel is what? 17%, which is okay, but then you have 1.75 days to cover. That's the number of days that short sellers will need to actually get rid of that position. So can probably go to 2. So this might be a massive surprise. So I'm gonna play the 16. Yeah, I'm calling for 100%. That actually has the potential to happen. Look at what the options did. The options went up like 42%. So in this case, pay no more than 12. Try to go 12, 14. That's the range. I think you have the potential to get over. I mean, if you can get $100, but I will probably do this with $1,000. And this is where I expect the surprise. These potentially, if you look at the contract high, not too much right now, but I will say I will be looking to sell at 120. Now, the thing is, implied volatility is high, and usually the strategy is just to buy, actually to sell premium. You sell the puts, I think. That's the way they do it. But I still think that in a scenario where we have a surprise to the upside, this will squeeze big time. It's not only that we're buying the potential surprise, not buying Bitcoin directly, we're buying RIOT blockchain, which has exposure to Bitcoin, but also the fact we're buying a position that has a short float and that's enough gasoline for a massive short squeeze and burn those shorts. So that's what I see. This is a little bit of the technical analysis that I see. Moreover, what you really want to pay attention is this massive trend line that I have on my chart, and that tells me that if Bitcoin closes this week, which I think closes tomorrow, Sunday, above this level, get ready because you will experience fireworks. And the best way to do that is to trade options, limit your downside, and open the door for unlimited upside. Guys, I thank you for watching. I know it's the weekend, it's a Saturday. I'm just gonna listen to a little bit of my music, like synth wave from the 80s. And after that, I will probably come back with another video tomorrow because there's no other way. We have to grind and rise. Never forget, there's a reason for all this. Because at the end of the day, someone always knows.